Hi, this is Ushio, and welcome back to Sable's Grimoire. We are off on a date with Drakan, who has transformed into a dragon, and we're gonna fly off. So we're flying above the school. I can't believe it. Is that really Amadronia? All of the students look like specks of dust from up here. And over there, that's the train station, isn't it? Unbelievable, I can see everything from up here. Drakan lets out a low, deep chuckle, amused by my excitement. What is no doubt a mundane sight for her is completely overwhelming for someone like me, who can't even use flight magic properly. Having never ridden in an airplane, let alone on the back of a dragon, this is by far the highest I've ever soared. We'll reach the city soon. I'll land a short walk from the city where I can transform in private. Be prepared to run, people will no doubt come for us. Of course, I understand completely. I feel sorry for the people whose stories nobody's ever going to believe, but I'm not about to get caught for their sake. Land, place Drakan's backpack on the ground, turn around while she transforms into human and get dressed. And once she's dressed, use slight muscle reinforcement magic in order to quickly flee from the scene. It's a rather simple plan, but I don't see any real problems with it. Seriously though, if I'd known you were offering this kind of experience, I would have agreed weeks ago. Do you know how many humans alive today know how many humans ever have ridden dragons? You're the only one I'm aware of. Mama said she never let Papa ride her even once. My eyes widen in amazement as I hear Drakan's revelation. I'm the first human to ever ride a dragon? I didn't say that. You're just the first to... Oh yeah, first human to ride a dragon. How do you like that, specks of dust? I'm king of the world. Wow. Drakan decides not to elaborate as I shout at the top of my lungs. If only temporarily, our roles have been reversed. Drakan is the cool-headed, rational party trying to speak sense, and I'm the ignorant one, overcome by joy and excitement. Okay, Sable, it's time. Hold on tight, and remember the plan. Already? Fine, I get it. Pouting slightly, I strengthen my grip. The moment I do, Drakan senses the change in pressure on her back, and begins to descend. Oh wow, holy crap, that was intense. I get that we could afford to take our time at the academy, unlike here, but still. Talk later, we don't have the time. Oh right, of course. Putting myself together, I quickly review the plan in my mind. The next moment I drop the backpack at my feet, turn around, and create some distance between Drakan and I. You don't need to wander too far, just don't turn around, okay? Greeted by Drakan's usual voice, I almost turn around on instinct. However, I manage to restrain myself at the last moment, and instead nod in confirmation. Wow. This is kind of embarrassing for me too, you know. I never would have dreamed I'd ever be asked to pick up the recently worn uniform and underwear of a surprisingly shy dragon, stuff it into a backpack and ride on her back. Distracting myself with silly thoughts, I try to ignore the sound of fabric rustling behind me. Thankfully, I don't have to try for very long. With haste matching her expectations of me, Drakan quickly dresses herself and closes the distance between us. Okay, I'm done. Let's go. Hold on, whoa. Before I can even take in the sight of the brand new dragon, much less comment on her appearance, she grabs me by the hand. The two of us begin to run, or rather, Drakan runs, with my body flailing in the air behind her, as we flee from the scene of her landing. A few minutes later, the forest is far behind us, and the city is quickly coming into view. So Drakan learned how to make herself look more human. Oh, here we go, it's Drakan's route. This is what we have done. You got a choice of characters, and this is the one we've gone for. Wow, so this is the human city. It looks completely different up close like this. Drakan, wait up a sec. Oh, what's this? Is this one of those armoured carriages I've heard about? It's a car. Seriously, get back before you hurt yourself. Oh, hurt myself? How? Is this car thing a weapon? It's not a weapon, but yeah, it can be dangerous. Really? It doesn't look dangerous? It's because it's not moving. Cars are dangerous because they weigh a lot, move quickly, and are controlled by human beings. Oh, so it's like a jousting horse? Jousting? Yes, sure, it's like a jousting horse. Wow, that's a problem. I'd rather not fight any cars in my current form. Don't fight any cars ever? In fact, no fighting today. Oh, but what if no buts? This is the human city. If you cause trouble here, there's going to be consequences. No destruction, no violence, no transforming, and no magic. Wow, no fun more like it. If you can't agree to the conditions, I'm going back. Oh wait, I'll do whatever you say, okay? I'll be as boring as you tell me to be. Just don't leave me here alone. I sigh in both surprise and disbelief as Dragon begins to panic. Despite her apparent appetite for destruction and the self-awareness Dragon possesses regarding her strength, her nerves are not made of steel. Surrounded by unfamiliar structures and machines, even this mighty dragon knows fear. Relax, I wouldn't really leave you here by yourself. And we are here to have fun, just not the kind of fun you usually indulge in at the academy. Wow, got it. I'll leave the planning to you then. Show me a good time, Sable. My impression of human civilization depends on it. Oh wow, no pressure then. It's not like I'm familiar with this city myself, you know. I'm just going to be using my terminal to look up directions, check out popular places to go and so on. Yeah, that's fine. As long as it's fun, I don't really care how we get there. Onward, human. Lead the way. Real subtle, Dragon. Please at least try to remember that you're human right now. Just a little bit worried about what our day together's going to bring, I summon my terminal and lead Dragon through the city. A few odd glances are cast our way as we wander around. Most of them are aimed at my terminal and uniform, with only a few people staring at Dragon. Thankfully, they're not glances filled with malice or suspicion. Rather, the people around us are simply confused by Dragon's behaviour. Wow, this is weird. How do you humans walk like this? What do you mean, like what? This? I feel like I'm going to fall over at any second. How do you keep walking forward without some kind of counterbalance like a tail or wings? Dragon continues to stumble forward awkwardly, mindful of her footing as she attempts to remain upright. And these feet, they've got no grip. And I thought that's why humans wore shoes, but they're not making it any better. When we initially ran from the forest, Dragon and I were quickly pushing on soft ground. Any forward momentum worked to our advantage, and our feet dug into the grass beneath us. But now that we're walking slowly on solid ground, however, the awkwardness associated with Dragon's new appearance has started to come to the surface. Don't worry about it, you'll get used to it. Yeah, but if I fall over, everyone's going to realise that something's wrong about me. They'll think you tripped, it's fine. Okay, maybe. I still don't want to risk drawing attention to myself though. Says the girl who was talking about fighting cars just now. Okay, let's go somewhere. Different? Okay, what are we going to do? What are you doing? I'm making sure you don't fall over. Like this. Why not? But we're not even, shouldn't we? Dragon stiffens up the moment I wrap my arm around her waist. Her whole body goes rigid, and her voice immediately rises several pitches. Just as I think that perhaps I shouldn't have wrapped my arm around her. Okay. This is... Dragon nods her head, at the same time putting an end to her resistance. I'm sorry if it was a bit sudden, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. But you seem to be having a hard time, and it would be terrible if we got separated among all the people. No, it's fine, I'm just surprised, that's all. It's not like I dislike it or anything. Despite her embarrassment, or perhaps as a result of it, Dragon leans in closer to my torso. With her cheeks flushed red and eyes downcast, she walks along slowly, carefully minding each step. Onlookers no longer register in Dragon's mind. Her focus belongs solely to the warm body embracing her tightly and the sound of her own quickened breathing. Yeah, Mama told me humans were dangerous, but I didn't think she meant like this. What do you mean? Dragon peers up at my face as I respond to her remark. The moment she does, Dragon's cheeks twitch and she quickly turns her face away from mine. Nothing, I didn't mean anything. Just take me somewhere fun already. Okay, as you command. One day of fun, coming right up. Where are we going to take her? Where can we take her? By the time that Dragon is able to walk normally on her own, a few hours have already passed by. We've taken in many of the sights this futuristic wonderland has to offer, eaten our fill one street vendor at a time, and walked more than any human being should ever be expected to. Okay, where next? There's still plenty of places we haven't tried, right? In a city this big, there has to be more to see. I'm kind of interested in that place with the fish trapped in the glass, but I'd really rather stay away from that much water. Maybe the dark room with the big screen would be good. I don't like the idea of sitting still for 2 hours though, but I could give it a shot, go to the movies. Despite my fatigue, Dragon continues to pull me along, suggesting new destinations with every step. Her anxiety and embarrassment from earlier are long gone. By this point, she has more or less returned to her usual self. Oh, how about that place over there with the caged animals? Like a zoo. I'm pretty full already, but I can still eat. The place... No, why are you going? The pet shop? That's what the sign says. Oh, it's not a zoo. What do you say? Are you hungry? That is not what the store's for. Dragon, listen to me very closely. Do you know what a pet is? provisional yet edible treats? No, just no. Pets are animals that humans take care of. We feed them, raise them, and provide them with shelter. They're kept for companionship, or to protect us, or to serve some other similar function. Under no circumstances are they to be eaten. Oh, it's kind of weird. What makes one animal a pet and another one a food? I don't know. It's probably a matter of what one tastes best. At any rate, if it's alive, don't eat it, okay? Okay, that's simple. You got me curious about pets though. Can any animal be a pet? I mean, I guess. Some are more suitable than others though. Aha. What about humans? Can humans be kept as pets? A human pet? No, I'm pretty sure that would be slavery. Oh, so they're only pets if they're of another race. In that case, could I have a human pet? I don't see why not. Wow, that could be interesting. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe Mama kept my father as a pet. Come again. Well, I was just thinking, it's basically what happened. Mama took in a stray human, fed him, sheltered him, and let him grow up under her watch. That's what pets are for, right? You just said so. When you put it like that, I can't help but think that you might be right, really. There's got to be like a, you know, if you can speak the same language or not, maybe? I don't know, I'm not getting into it. Then again, maybe not. Can you mate with the pet? Because if not, Drakan, please, can we talk about something else? This conversation is getting a bit too weird for me. Okay. In that case, where do you want to go? If the pet store's out, maybe we could... Before Drakan can finish her sentence, the ground beneath our feet begins to rumble. I quickly grab hold of Drakan, who still isn't completely stable on her feet, and we both instinctively turn toward the source of the thunderous sound. What is this? I said stay back, you pigs. There's some kind of robber. One more step, and we're going to start killing hostages. The moment we set foot on the scene, Drakan and I are taken aback. What awaits us is a scenario I've never envisioned myself becoming witness to, let alone today of all days. Just stay right where you are, no one gets hurt. All we want is the money, nobody has to die today. In front of one of the city's many banks, a group of men armed with semi-automatic firearms stand off against the police. A hole has been blasted in the side of the building, and while some men take hostages or ward off the police, others are busy carrying out the cash from inside. Among the thieves, one man in particular stands out from the crowd. Front and centre, the man continues to talk to the police while holding a hostage close to his chest. With a small microphone stashed inside his helmet, his voice booms every time he speaks, conveying his demands to every person within several blocks of his getaway vehicle. A bank robbery in this day and age? Unbelievable. I thought crimes of this scale were all done electronically nowadays. A bank robbery? What's that? What's going on? Tightly gripping my hand, Drakan, not understanding what's going on, seeks my counsel. Okay, let's see. Did your mother have a bunch of gold and rare artifacts in her cave? Oh yeah, tons of them. I figured. This is kind of like a man coming into your mother's cave and taking all of the gold and stuff while she's not there. They're plundering the city's treasure? Yeah, pretty much. Figuring that Drakan doesn't know what a bank is, I offer her an explanation which I feel is close enough to the mark. Meanwhile, the standoff between the police and the robbers seems to have gone nowhere. The police can't move in without risking the lives of the hostages, giving them little choice but to watch as the criminals do their thing. The only way they could take out the criminals without anyone getting injured in the process would be to free all of the hostages simultaneously. I don't get it. If they're plundering the city's treasure, why is nobody doing anything to stop them? They can't. The plunderers have taken innocent people hostage. If the police tried to stop them, the plunderers might start killing people. Oh. A look of understanding, mixed with shock, sprawls across Drakan's face. While this exact scenario might be unfamiliar to her, the notion of thieves threatening violence against weak, innocent bystanders is one she understands implicitly. So, the bad guys are going to get away? Maybe, though even if they do, the police are probably going to give chase. What about us? What? I turn to face Drakan as she lets go of my hand. With an uncharacteristically serious expression on her face, Drakan looks me directly in the eye as she speaks. Those humans are in trouble. Should we help? Help? You mean just the two of us? Drakan nods. You said the police aren't doing anything because they're afraid that innocent people are going to get hurt. But if it's us, we could defeat the bad guys for them, and just everyone would be safe. So, should we do it? I stare at Drakan in amazement as I process her proposal. Despite her usual carefree attitude, Drakan seems quite serious about wanting to help out the people being victimised. Okay, so why do you want to help the people? You always joke about burning down elven villages and eating pixies. Why are you taking the opposite side now? Is it wrong for me to want to help? I'm half human myself, you know. Even if the dragon blood running through my veins makes it seem like I'm more dragon than human, there's still a part of me that's just like the people over there. Isn't it only natural for me to want to protect my own kind? Unable to refute Dragon's words, I silently bow my head. Personally, I'd rather leave it to the police. Even as someone with the ability to help in a situation like this, if I were on my own, I'd likely turn around and walk away. And yet, Drakan, a girl who's only half human, a girl from whom most of the people here would likely flee, feels compelled to help. In a way, this half-dragon girl might be more human than I'll ever be. Even if I walk away, Drakan will likely get herself involved, and if she causes a scene, it's going to mean big trouble for everybody. On top of that, Dragon's magic is far too powerful and destructive. She lacks the precision and control to take out every single criminal here without killing them or harming the hostages. If Dragon's going to risk the safety of the people, I can't just sit here and let it happen. What am I going to do? Combine my knowledge with Dragon's raw power, or the police can handle it themselves? Drakan wants to do something. Okay, let's do it. Okay, I'm not going to stop you. But if you're serious about wanting to protect those people, let me help. You're going to fight? I shake my head. There'll be no fighting. If we're going to do this, we're going to play it smart and make effective use of our combined power. We're going to end this in one shot. Really? You got a plan? It's more like a gamble. It's going to take effort from both of us, and there's no margin for error. If we fail, we're only going to make things worse. Even knowing that. Are you good with the plan? Okay, cool. Just tell me what I need to do. Okay then. Listen carefully, because we're only going to get one shot. What are we going to do? Kind of worried. As instructed, Drakan kneels in front of me. Blocking out the chaos in front of us, her mind enters a state of tranquility, completely calm and focused, just as I asked of her. Rather than use this state of mind to focus her own magic power, however, Drakan remains dormant. She does not speak, nor does she begin to cast any spells. Her mind is empty, a blank slate ready to be overwritten at any given moment. In doing so, Drakan has already fulfilled her role perfectly. That's great, stay just like that. I place my hands on Drakan's shoulders and begin to focus. Tens, hundreds, thousands of spells all float around in my mind, each one begging to be chosen as I prepare to take out the enemy in front of us. Conventional spells taught at the academy, advanced spells learned from magic tomes, original spells created by none other than myself. If time wasn't such an important factor here, I could spend all day sifting through them and never come to a decision. I suppose I'm going to go with something unconventional after all. This spell has got me out of trouble more times than I can count, back before I came to Amadronia, and a practice spell is what I need right now. I never used it on this kind of scale before though, but it shouldn't matter. With Drakan by my side, it should be a piece of cake. Thief of time, bringer of darkness, natural enemy to thee. On this day, our roles reversed, I become your master. By my whim, sally forth, corrode the minds of any who oppose me. Become my sword and my shield, manifestation of sleep eternal. As I chant the full incantation of the spell I created, I can feel the ether leave my body. Rather than use my body's ether to cast the spell directly, however, I use it as a conduit through which to transfer information straight into Drakan's mind. Until this chaos has subsided, she's my puppet. Shit, how long are you idiots gonna be? Oh no you don't, pig. Don't you think I can't see you? Get back behind the line before Before he can finish what he's saying, the man wearing a motorcycle helmet begins to falter. Just like the woman in his arms, he no longer possesses the energy he showed off up until this point. You bastards. What are you doing? Their heart rates decrease in unison. Panic and adrenaline turn to fatigue, and the weapon in the man's hand suddenly feels strangely heavy. In a matter of seconds, they will both enter a deep, peaceful sleep. What's more, they're not the only ones. Everyone inside of or close to the bank has been struck, whether they're a criminal, a civilian, or even a police officer. Within the area of effect, all shall fall into a deep slumber. Used a sleep spell. Satisfied that our work was done, I quickly led Drakan away from the crime scene. Still in a semi-conscious state, she doesn't resist. Drakan comes along with me, led by the hand, and we make ourselves scarce, careful not to be seen. And once we're in the clear, we make our way to the forest surrounding the city, at which point we can be at ease once more. Oh wow, this was definitely too much running for one day. Are you okay, Dragon? I realise that you're fitter than I am, but if that new form is still giving you trouble... Explain. What? Explain to me what just happened. Dragon's voice, surprisingly forceful in tone, reverberates within my mind as she glares at me. Intimidated for a moment, I struggle to answer. What do you mean? You used my body as though it were a magical artifact? How? How does that work? And how did you put it off? The tension immediately disappears from my body as I come to understand Dragon's question and the reason behind it. Oh, so Dragon's never heard of puppet magic? I suppose it makes sense. Who would Dragon ever need to supply with power to use as her own puppet? Dragon's mother is probably the only one who would even qualify apart from myself, and I sincerely doubt that she would need to borrow Dragon's power or vice versa. Gathering my wits, I return Dragon's serious gaze with one of my own as I attempt to explain myself. Dragon, are you familiar with combination magic? It's also sometimes referred to as cooperative magic, if you're familiar with that name instead. Dragon nods. It's when two people use complementary spells at the same time, combining their power so as to unleash far more powerful magic than they'd be capable of individually. Yeah, that's right. So anyway, what I used was a different kind of combination magic. The proper name is Master-Slave Combination Magic, but it's also referred to as Puppet Magic. Puppet Magic? I see. One mage takes control of the body of the other, manipulating them like a puppet. It's the same as combination magic, but instead of each party fulfilling the roles of both caster and chanter, you take one role each. Yeah, exactly. I should have expected as much from a dragon. Dragon may act like an airhead sometimes, but when it comes to matters like this, she's clearly the real deal. Interesting. I can see why you chose that course of action. My power and ether reserves mixed with your ingenuity and precision. Our opponents never stood a chance. Wow, I guess. Though to be honest, I wasn't sure if I could put it off or not. The requirements for puppet magic to work flawlessly are pretty strict. Really? How so? For puppet magic to work properly, the puppet needs to be able to empty their mind and to surrender control of their body. Furthermore, they need to have absolute faith in the one controlling them. They can't harbour a shred of mistrust or suspicion toward the caster, otherwise the spell will fail. The requirements for the caster aren't as strict, but needless to say, this type of magic isn't something that any random pair of mages can just pull off. I see. My trust for you already runs that deeply, does it? I must admit, I'm surprised to hear it. Me too. Of course, rather than surprised, I'd say I'm more happy than anything. Oh, With just a tinge of red in her cheeks, Dragon averts her gaze. Anyway, I think it's about time we head back to the academy. It's been a tiring day, but I've got to say, I did have fun. Me too. I can't wait to tell Mama about how much human civilization has changed. Thanks for coming with me, Sable. I definitely wouldn't have had the courage to come here today without a human to escort me. My pleasure. Make sure to invite me along next time too, okay? Because honestly, the thought of Dragon roaming around a human city by herself scares the crap out of me. But we don't want her to meet her mother. I think that's a bad time. Riding on Dragon's back once more, I'm able to return to the academy while it's still bright outside. Even after spending all day in the city and making the full return trip, night is not yet upon us. Travelling to the city would usually take a full day by foot. Even catching a train would take half a day, given the distance from Amadronio Academy to the nearest station. Compared to the other options available to me, flying on Dragon's back seems like the fastest and most convenient method by far. Aside from the part when we run away to avoid detection, of course. Okay, home at last. The city was fun, but after all of that flying and running around, it's good to be back. My thoughts exactly. Before I even have time to collect my thoughts, Dragon has changed from her dragon form and back into half-dragon, and dressed herself in the academy uniform once more. Seeing Dragon back in her uniform, I'm not sure whether to feel disappointed or relieved. You know, it was kind of refreshing to see you wear something other than the uniform. Maybe you should try to buy some clothes which fit you in your half-dragon form too. If you can modify the school uniform to fit, you should be able to alter other outfits too. Well, I'm glad to hear that you liked my outfit, but it isn't easy to make clothes that fit me when I take this form. I pretty much destroy the shirt, and I'm always wearing another layer under my skirt. I'm starting to think that I should just take human form all the time. Come to think of it, that sounds like a pain. But you know, I definitely miss seeing you in your current form. I can see how taking human form would make things easier, But honestly, I like you just the way you are. Oh wow, you really are dangerous. That silver tongue of yours is going to get you in a lot of trouble one of these days. Oh, sorry? Was that too impertinent after all, coming from a human? You're the one who has to put up with the inconvenience of wings and a tail after all, not me. I'm sorry if I offended you. No, you don't get it. Well, it's probably for the best. If you did understand, it would only make you even more dangerous. At any rate, I'm going to have to keep a closer eye on you, Sable. And when the time comes for me to choose a mate, I'll remember what happened on this day. Leaving behind yet another statement beyond my comprehension, Drakan begins to walk toward the academy. I try to call out to her, but the moment I do, I'm stopped in my tracks by a mental alert. An incoming message through my terminal? That's odd. Who even knows my terminal ID? Who's calling? Who's this? The principal, Sable. Good of you to join me. Please, make yourself at home. Surely enough, the person who contacted me the moment I was set foot on academy grounds was none other than my principal. A wave of tension washes over me as soon as I enter his office. Given the timing of Iron's summons, I got a bad feeling about this meeting of ours. Thanks for the offer, but I'm fine. Suit yourself. Sable, I'm going to save us both the time and cut straight to the chase. I know what you did. Okay. Could you be a bit less vague? I do a lot of things on any given day. No you don't, not on this scale at least. Don't think you can deceive me, Sable. I know all about your little outing with Drakan and the sleeping spell you cast. Oh, that. I knew it. I'd hoped this meeting would be about something else, but it seems I was just being optimistic. How did you know about all of that already? Did you think I wouldn't? I've been receiving reports of dragon sightings all morning. Then, a few hours later, I was asked if I knew any students or teachers with the ability to put many dozens of people to sleep simultaneously. Naturally, my conclusion was that you and Drakan had gone to the city on your day off, and unwittingly found yourself right at the heart of an unfortunate situation. That's a natural conclusion. I sigh in resignation as the principal correctly details my day. There's no use lying to him, or trying to cover up what happened. He already knows the truth. Yeah, you're right. Everything you said is correct. I see. Will you tell me your side of the story? I'm interested in hearing about how all of this played out. Yes, sir. Given the chance to defend myself, I begin to walk the principal through my day. I omit finer details, such as Drakan changing behind a tree and failing to walk on her own right after transforming, but when it comes to the crime that took place, I spare nothing. I describe in detail the chaos we witnessed, be it the face-off between the thieves and the police, the look of horror on the faces of the hostages, or the ever-present threat of harm. Once the scene had been set, I explain how I used puppet magic to cast a sleeping spell over the bank and its immediate surroundings. Big enough to encapsulate the criminals and hostages, but not so big as to cover the entirety of the police force as well. It was my most impressive feat to date, possible only because of the powerful ally standing by my side. Master Save combination magic? You actually pulled it off? And this was your first time coordinating such a spell with Drakan? I nod in confirmation. I'm familiar with the theory, but that was the first time I'd ever tried actually using puppet magic. I wasn't sure if I could put it off given the requirements, but I figured that with Drakan as my partner, it might be possible. So we gave it a go, and thankfully the attempt was a success. I see. Having heard my explanation, I encloses his eyes and focuses his mind. Going by his facial expression and line of questioning, I have no idea what kinds of thoughts are running through his head. Am I going to get expelled for using dangerous, undocumented magic on a large scale within the city? Will I be rewarded for saving innocent lives and preventing a crime tantamount to grand theft? With no way of knowing what kind of fate lies in store for me, I can only ask the obvious. So, what happens now? Did you tell the people asking about me who I am? Yeah, that's right. I told them exactly who you are. And I was proud. Imagine a student studying at Amadroni Academy, no, a participant in the March for Public Order, pulling off a feat no police force in the world would have been capable of. I've been trying to explain to those hard-headed fools for years the good that students of Amadroni could do if only they give us the chance. Now, through the course of a single event, you convinced an entire city, one which is home to well over 1 million people, that the students of Amadronia are on their side. You've done more in one day of action than the rest of us have after years of peaceful campaigning. My eyes widen in shock as the principal praises me for my actions. Contrary to my expectations, he doesn't seem to be mad in the slightest. Rather, today's events, which include Drakan and I causing a ruckus by flying above the city, casting an experimental spell and fleeing the scene of a crime, appear to have earned his admiration. You're not mad. even though I did something so reckless? No, not at all. It would be a different matter if you'd failed, and of course, if you weren't a member of the March, you would likely be imprisoned for your actions. But fortunately, it's not the case. Oh yeah, lucky me. I laugh nervously, as the principal portrays a rather horrible fate, which could very easily have been mine. Circumstances aside, I do believe some kind of commendation is in order. Whether the two of you set out to save those people or not, you did, in fact, do quite a good deed. Is there anything you'd like as a reward? Remove the thing from my wrist? That seems a bit over-eager, doesn't it? Let's be modest. I'm good, thank you. Taken aback by the suddenness of Ein's offer, I failed to think of anything worth asking for. Also, we don't want to get a little bit too ahead of ourselves. We don't want to be seen as being too eager. Regretfully, I shake my head, signaling my response. I appreciate the offer, but I'm not really in need of anything particular right now. Rather than worry about me, what do you think Drakan would want? She's pretty easy to please, but honestly, that just makes it even more difficult to know what she really wants. Don't ask me, I ask you specifically because I thought you might know. Well, what do you want me to say? I've got no idea what you could give her. We just spent the entire day roaming around the city, and not once did she buy anything other than food. How about I ask her and get back to you? She might have something in mind. Oh no, don't do that. There's a reason why I asked you instead of her, you know. That girl completely lacks common sense. If I offered her something of her choosing, there's no telling what kind of extreme request she would make. Wow, you're kind of right about that, yeah. Okay, how about taking Drakan's tongue off the menu in the cafeteria? It's a minor request, but I'm sure Drakan would appreciate the sentiment. Okay, it's not a bad idea. It's not real Drakan's tongue, of course, but nonetheless, it can't feel good for her to see such an item on the menu. Okay, let's go with that. What else, Sable? Anything else? Perhaps you noticed something which caught her eye while the two of you were playing around the city. No, nothing in particular. Drakan was happy enough to just look at clothes and stuff. She didn't actually... No, wait, there was something. Yeah? When we walked by a jewellery store, Drakan suddenly became more excited than usual. She wanted to go inside, but I refused because I didn't want to risk her breaking anything and costing us a small fortune. That was wise, yeah. Which does give me an idea though. It's said that dragons are attracted to shiny or glittering objects. Oh yeah, like how legends depict dragons as gold hoarders with caves full of treasure? Exactly right. I don't have anything on hand, but I suppose I could supply you with the funds to purchase something. How about it? Would you like to take another trip into the city? You want me to buy the reward? Why not? I'm certain that girl would be happier to receive a gift from you than from me. Oh, and don't tell her it's a reward for yesterday, okay? It would be better for you to ask her out on another date, then casually buy it for her when she sees something she likes. You know, the more you talk, the more I get the impression that you think Drakan and I are a couple. Aren't you? Of course not, I think. Damn, I don't know now. You're not sure if you're dating someone? I don't know, maybe we're a couple? Depending on who you ask, yesterday's outing could certainly be considered a date. And Drakan did say I'm the first person to ever ride her. Whoa, 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 slow down there, buddy. There are some things you shouldn't say in front of others, especially when the other party is your principal. Oh, okay. At any rate, it certainly sounds to me like the two of you are a couple. We weren't riding her in that sense, oh my god. But if you're really not sure, then you ought to speak to Drakan about this instead of me. If you decide you want to buy us something shiny, just say the word, and I'll provide you with the funds. If not, we'll think of something else. Okay, we might have had the opportunity to remove our magic limiting, bracelet off our wrist, but no, I think we'll have to leave it there. That was our date. It went pretty well, it seems like. So this is Usho signing off, and hopefully I'll see you next time.